the new focus towards letting game players have more control over the MyMall made me reevaluate how light shows worked and create a whole new ability to create light shows in the game. I'm going to go ahead and show it here. And as you probably remember, this is the template, the DMX template I'm using. Instead of I haven't put this into the actual game yet. But we're going to go ahead and if you remember, you could build light shows. And so you could have always gone in there and say, I want an orange. Let me see here, the orange moving head, and I want it, to change all these things, and you've seen examples of that, and I could rotate it, for example. So you could always go in there and create these lights. The problem was that you'd have to go do each one during your show and create everyone manually, and that wasn't a good solution for most DJs doing light shows. So I'll start to rotate there, and I'll even turn the color back to red, but I'll turn it off so we don't have to worry about it. So now it's turned off by turning the dimmer down. So then what I did is created something called light cues, which were really presets. What I could have done is I could have had like that orange spotlight I just had, and I could have said save the cue and click save cue, and it would add it to a data structure called light cues, which are basically presets of existing light types in here. And if you looked in light cues, if you remember, this I added last week. So every time I had to add a light cue via the manual light control show, it would add to this list of light cues. And you can page up and down on this list as well, so you can have as many as you want. And in this case, I would just say, say I have a spin red that I've saved. I click on it, and there it goes, a spinning red with that. It was a different, it looks like it was at a wider beam and higher intensity and a number of other things. And to turn it off, you clicked on it again. So basically, I stored all these light cues to make it easier for a person to create. So this still they would manually be running their show. Then I have the thought process is, okay, you've got all these light cues. What if I want to already build a predetermined show? So I just press a button that says play the show. And that was the idea of light shows. So I built a new screen, a new pretty complex set of logic here to build the light show. And here's the build the light show screen. And what it allows you to do is select a light cue. So let's say, and again, it says, remember that I only have that small list of light cues. You could have hundreds of these if you wanted, if you created these presets. I'm going to say I want to spin it red. And I want it to start 5 seconds after I've clicked the light show. And then I want to change that to, spin it green. And I could have other things, and I want that to start, 5 seconds later. And then I want the fog to come on at the same time I turn on that second light. So that's what that 0 means. It means at the same time as the previous effect. And you could keep adding effects, and it can page up and down, and right now I have it so you could add 72 effects for a given light show. And that's just a question of code. So if I double to 144, that's what I do. There's nothing that will stop me. So what I could do then is if this was my light show, I can say I want to save this as a light show, and I want to call it my light show. So I could save it. So now if I've gone in here, if I go look here in lights, I say, you see my LS is showing up. So if I click on it, it's going to wait 5 seconds, and then it'll start spinning a red light, and then it waits another 5 seconds, and it's going to turn it to a blue light. I said green, blue, and then the fog starts. So, and if you want to turn off the light show, if you want to turn off the light show, just click it once more, and it sets it back. So that's there. So if I go back to the manual, the build the light show here, and I say, you know what? I didn't like the house lights up there, so what will I do? you could click I for insert, and it put a new line in here, and then you could have said, let's turn the house lights down. What was that called? That was called house test. And I want it to, right at the beginning of the show, I want to turn the house lights down. And then you could also, you have insert, you can have delete the line if you decided something else. You could change this. I could go up, so I move the screen, the spin green in front of the spin red, and so on. So, and I decide that, if I don't want this spin red, I could say X to get rid of it. So, and then I could save this as, let's say, my light show 2. I go look over here, I'll have a my light show 2, and if I click on it, turned off the lights, and it'll start up a red light, and I don't remember if I deleted the fog, whatever I had. Yeah, started the fog. So that's that. The other important thing is, right now it doesn't save it to a database. I may add it to a database or not, but for the current approach to that, I thought, well, what if I wanted to save this? One way you can save it is, and this may how we end up down the road, depending on whether you decide to go to a database or not. I mean, the idea of saving this in a database means other people could use it in the game. They could get it through the database, or this just creates CSV files when I say import export. So if I say export, we'll say what do you want to call this, and I want to call this test show 1. So it'll save test show 1, and then I could, let's say, import a light show. I have a lot of them that I've saved for testing, but let's say I imported not the light show 1. You see that test show 1 is out there, but let's open another one, import, and see it imported a longer light show here. But if I import the original one, or the one I just saved, it will do that, and it brings back in the test show 1 as we did it. So you can import and export. What's powerful about that is, let's go here, this means I could put a light show out there. I can get into Excel and change it in Excel here. So I can actually build my light show here in Excel and just import that file in there, rather than using all those drop-down boxes and stuff. So that's what I've gotten done so far. Let's just and don't save. That is where we're at.